This is one of the most frequently used adventure travel and tour agencies in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. But business has begun to slow down, and the company is not alone. Even hotels and restaurants are starting to feel the pinch. It's being blamed on new government foreign currency controls.
It's affecting people who want to travel. They look at it, how much am I going to spend doing this travel? I mean international travel. For holiday makers, for this summer, it's going to affect a lot of people. They will jettison that idea. So it now brings us back to the fact that we need to look inwards.
According to the National Union of Air and Transport, NUAT, dwindling air passenger traffic and a delay in repatriated revenue has forced many international carriers to reconsider routes to Nigeria. United Airlines announced they plan to stop flights by July, and it's likely other airlines will follow. Analysts say the government must be flexible in providing foreign currency or risk losing business.
Tourism, in all its forms, in the value chain where it touches everything, must pay attention to the details of statistics. If the statistics data gathering is accurate or close to accurate, the government will realize that tourism is a vital component of this economy, and we are already creating jobs.
While IATA estimates over $600 million is owed by Nigeria to international airlines in unrepatriated funds and limits air travel for many, others say this may be an ideal opportunity to market Nigeria's local tourism as low cost.
In as much as some people also would really desire to go outside to experience other countries, but for people who cannot afford that, you just need to look inwards. Where can I afford? What can I afford? So I have to look inwards and travel locally.
In the wake of a global slump in oil prices internationally, experts say Nigeria's economy will need more time to rebound.
As reality of the current economy bites harder in the air travel business, with many jobs already on the line, concerned industry stakeholders have called for a lasting solution beyond foreign exchange bailout. Sophia Dengo, CCTV, Abuja, Nigeria.
Sophia Dengo joins us in Abuja now with an update on that situation. Sophia, as always, welcome to the show. Now, of course, the airlines are pointing to the struggles they face moving revenue out of the country and, of course, fuel scarcity. Give us some more insight into what's really at stake for these airlines.
Well, Uche, you know, the core of companies like United Airlines pulling out of the only country that they've invested in here, and Iberia Airlines, the Spanish airline, is really the fact that they can no longer have access to revenue that they have made in the country simply because there's a shortage of reserves within the country. And it's estimated by the International Air and Transport Association, IATA, that really almost $600 million is tied up in revenue unrepatriated to these airlines, and that's causing quite a stir. What's at stake here really is the bottom line for these airlines. And you know, if you speak to airline experts, they will tell you that many of these international airlines you know, make money from marginal profits by selling seats. And you know, in order for them to continue operating with the high operational costs, they will actually need to have access to these funds. And as you know, Nigeria has gone through a considerable amount of volatility, because of the drop in oil prices. It's been reported by experts and economists, and we have seen firsthand the domino effect of a nearly 50% drop in oil prices and the dependence on this economy for that, forex revenue, and the mere shortage that has been experienced in many sectors, including the aviation sector. And as a result, many of these international airlines choosing no longer to do business at this time because of it. Uche.
Now, Sophia, we know that Vice President Oshibanjo, he actually told the International Air Transport Association that the airlines must agree to a realistic and achievable payment schedule. Has any plan been set up so far?
Well, what we do know is the International and Air Transport Association regional head has been meeting very closely with President Osinbajo over this very matter, really to come up with a plan and a way forward and to be able to garner some of these, funds and pay some of these airlines. And what we do know so far is that there's a loose agreement that perhaps maybe up to 50% will be paid out to some of the airlines that have been owed. But this will obviously be a gradual process, knowing the current conditions economically that exist in the country. Foreign reserves have been completely guarded and are given to what the Nigerian central bank governor has been calling really priority sectors. And it would be interesting to see how the airline situation, as we can call it, and the apportioning of these very slim reserves that are really under the benchmark that is required will go forward in terms of settling these particular issues if many more of these airlines threaten to pull out of Nigeria's really active hub of aviation. Uche.
Now, the focus, of course, continues to be on the FX situation. And, of course, the CBN did come out saying they would sort of loosen that situation. Any update from the government on its more flexible FX policy?
Well, all we can tell you now is that, people have been, people in the aviation sector and generally in the economy, from analysts to people who have been watching data numbers, have consistently said that the Nigeria Naira needs to be devalued in order to solve some of these problems. But what we know so far is that the rate of the dollar against the Naira has stayed the same over the last 2 years, and that reserves are being held at the moment really because during the times of the boom years, of these oil boom years, reserves that could have been accumulated to mitigate these volatile, oil revenues that we have seen in the recent months were not done. So, this is an economy that is really in a state of trying to manage pretty much a crisis due to the fall in oil prices. Uche.
Well, thank you so much, Sophia, for those insights. Of course, Sophia Dango joining us in Abuja.